Hello everyone, this is Dr. Achal and I welcome you again in a subject module titled as Services Marketing. Earlier also we have dealt with a concept of the perishability and variability. We have discussed in our previous discussion that how the variability factor, which is being talked of as one of the important component of the services, they are affecting the consumption of the customers, and how this variability factor will be talked of as an important variable to be taken into consideration by each and every service organization in the firm to provide a consistent and uniform delivery of the services to the target audience. Now, this variability factor is a important feature also, and it is a challenge for the marketer to just minimize out this highly variable factor being disposed of by the marketers to the end users, by going for the adoption of certain strategy which is conducive enough for each and every organization and which is beneficial enough for the people who are being deployed in your organization. In addition to the people and the organization, it is also feasible on the part of the customers to have an access of the uniform and the consistent delivery of the services that they are going in for the purchase and the consumption of those aspects. So, for the elaborating on the concept of the inconsistency or the variability, in today's discussion and the deliberation we will be moving out with an elaborate concept that how the service organization will be going for the adoption of the strategies of dealing with the variability factor being shown on the case of the services discipline or the services arena. So, moving on with the slide. Now, this slide says that earlier also we have talked of with the same fact that there can be a situation in which the service firm and the organization, they are trying to industrialize out the services or they may go in for the adoption of the standardization aspect of the services. So, here we are seeing that in the case of the hardcore technologies, the adoption of the hard technology means that we are substituting the machinery for the people. Hard technologies cannot be applied to services which are highly labor oriented and those which required personal skill and contact. So, hard technologies, that is adoption of the hard technologies, earlier also we have discussed out the same fact that this is in a strategy in which the organization are moving in for the adoption of the technological techniques. The machines are being used, the manpower, they are being replaced with the adoption of the machines and the tools and the techniques that are worthy enough in order to provide you the standardized approach to the offerings in which you are dealing with. But there is a problem in which we are seeing that in the case of the deliverance of the pure services or the services which require a direct touch with the end users, in those instances it is very difficult for organization to replace the deployment of the manpower with the help of the machines, because it is the manpower and the people who are more being sensitive enough, who are more being responsive enough, who are more being empathetic enough towards knowing out the feel, enthusiasm, the experiences, the expectations, the aspirations and the psychological temperaments of the people whom they are being targeting upon. We have taken one of the example, we have taken the example of the medical field. The legal practitioners are there, the accountancy firms are there, the people who are being engaged in giving you a grooming, I mean they are being engaged in the grooming center, but we are seeing that the services where it is possible to substitute out the machines for people, it has been possible to standardize the services at an appreciable extent. Hard technologies, we have said that in our slide that the hard technologies cannot be applied to those services which are highly labor oriented. It means those sectors which are offering you the pure services in the form of the discipline that is being shown by the medical practitioners, the stream of the consultancy, the stream of the providing you consultancy services by the consultants, the arena of giving you free, the arena of giving you legal advices by the legal consultants, by the legal people, by the legal advisory firms, management institutes are there, the consultancy firms are there. Accounting institutes are there, they are providing you computations and this particular kind of facilities being provided by the accounting firm. So, these are the sectors who are giving you the deliverance of the, or you are creating services which are pure in nature. Either we are talking in terms of the medical field, or we are talking in terms of the legal aspect, or we are talking in terms of the grooming center, the wellness center, giving you a greater appeal, giving you a well-toned physique and the personality. So all these, in all these sectors, there should be a high presence. It warrants for to have a greater touch with the customers, with the consumers who are in need of getting these kind of consumption of the services. And earlier also we have reiterated on the same fact that there can be an instance wherein the accessibility and the adequacy of the services should be given, to have a proper adequate and the accessibility factor in order to just foresee that we are coming out within a proper adequate disposal of the services, and that too should be accessible to the target audience. We have to just ensure that the proper contact, the proper interaction between the service provider and the customer should be there. There should be a direct touch, there should be a direct contact between the service provider and the firm, and that is why many times we have said that in those aspects which requires a high contact with the end users, the frontline people or the people who are authorized to be in direct touch with the customers, they need to be more oriented, they need to be more trained, their psychological temperaments, their psychological attributes should be diligent enough, it should be good enough, then only they will be working out within a cooperated and a coordinated way. We have also discussed out the fact, and we are reiterating the same fact, that the skills being required on the part of the people acting in the frontline staff, acting as in a back-end staff, they need to have a greater appeal in the sense of their interpersonal skill, in the association of the intrapersonal skill. There should be a good communicative ability being shown on their part. The psychological temperaments like the resilience factor, the perseverance factor should be good enough. The empathy that they are showing in the working procedural plans, that should be diligent enough, that should be efficient enough. Then only the customers will have a greater appeal, they will have a greater feel to use and to visit out the consumption of your services again and again, more frequent as compared to the other offerings that are there available in the competitive scenario. Here we are saying that it has been possible to standardize out the services, but that standardization can be made either at a certain extent level, because the same fact that in case of the pure services, we are dealing with the abstractness, the magnitude and the quantum of the abstractness are more prominent, the intangibility is more prominent as compared to the as compared to those kind of sectors in which we are having out an association of the physical component and we are having out an association of the abstractness. So here in these kind of sectors wherein we are talking of the sector of the medical field or the accounting firm or the services that is being dealt by the consultancy firm or the people who are being engaged in the grooming center, they are offering you the abstractness, they are giving you the beauty, they are giving you a cherished moment to talk of, they are giving you a certain kind of experiences which are which are not more, we can say that they are totally being associated with the intangibility kind of way. They are not having any kind of tangibility clues to talk of. But like suppose we are visiting to a hotel for the purpose of consumption of our biological need of the hunger, for satiating our hunger, we are hungry and we have visited to a hotel and a restaurant. The consumption of the physical meal is what is being talked of as a physical good that is worthy enough to be recognized by our sensory organs. We are receptive enough to recognize the consumption of the physical commodity being defined in terms of the good meals. But the hygiene, the cleanliness, the beauty, the decor, the ambience, the thematic representation, the welcoming attitude of the people, the attendants, the help you nature, the courteous smile, the courteous behavior of the attendants, they are all playing a very pivotal role towards assimilating the consumption of the good meal that you have expected from that particular hotel or the industry, the hotel or the restaurant. So the expectation, acting as a good manager, acting as a good service provider, good marketer, many times you have to just foresee, not many times, we can definitely say that you have to be proactive enough to create certain kind of distinction in each and every level of the product, not only in terms of the offering of the core services, but apart from the offering of the core level of the services, we are having different other levels of the product, that is in the form of the expected product, maybe in the form of the the augmented product. We are having a core product, thereafter we are having a generic product, after generic product we are having an expected product, thereafter we are having one of the level of the product that is being talked of in the sense of the augmented product, and lastly we are having a potential product. So, at each and every level, at each and every stage, we can, as an effective marketer, we can make certain kind of distinction, we can make to go in for certain kind of differentiation to give that particular unique appeal which is being defined in terms of the unique selling proposition. And if the marketers are successfully made any kind of improvisation, any kind of add-ons in these kind of levels, then definitely the customers will be enjoying those kind of variations, those kind of modifications which are in consonance with meeting out their divergent needs and expectations, and more being acting as going out of their way. In most of the instances, there can be a situation in which the people or the marketers, they are going in out of the way to provide proper deliverance of the services to the customers. Now, those situations will be creating a delightment factor for the customers, and the customers, you as a service provider, you are giving them more as compared to their expectations, and that is what is being talked of as in a level of augmented. You are making out an improvisation in the levels of the augmented product, and you are giving them more as compared to the expectations which they are holding out with the consumption of the offerings. Similarly, after the augmentation, if you as a service provider, you are creating something new, you are creating something innovative which is not being defined earlier, which is not being touched by your rivals earlier, not being offered by your competitors, then that particular instance you will be coming out to be talked of in the category of the offering the services to the customers, falling in the category of the potential level. So, in the potential level, you are making certain kind of improvisation which is not being expected and which the customers have not been earlier thought of before. The customers, they themselves, they were not having a notion that they may get out certain kind of offering which is coming out within that particular kind of unique blend that they never have thought of. So, this particular kind of augmentation, this particular kind of improvisation can be done by the marketer to give a greater appeal, to give a greater satiation and a greater fulfillment of the needs and expectations of the people. So, here the hardcore technologies, definitely we are seeing that in the case of the hardcore technologies, it is very difficult for the marketers to replace the people who are in direct, who must be there, and in case of those of the pure services sector, wherein the direct contact and the direct touch of the people should be there to have an effective delivery process. Definitely in those instances, it is very difficult for the marketer to replace out the deployment of the manpower with the help of the machines, because it do requires to have a personal contact, and the high delivery is being required on the part of the people who are being deployed in the establishment. Now, here are the different examples. Now, this example says that the banks, one of the example we have taken from the financial sector, and it says that here the banks, they have reduced out the inconsistency of the teller services by providing automatic teller machines. The financial sector, they are always trying to get themselves updated, they are always on the move to be abreast with the technological changes. So, it is being written here that the banking sector, they have reduced out the inconsistency of the teller machines or the teller services that is being provided, and here this particular kinds of inconsistency is being minimized, it is being reduced to a greater extent with the deployment of the automatic teller machines. We have quoted another example which says that in the case of the airport X-ray surveillance equipment, it has replaced the manual searching for baggage. Now, if you are visiting out, you are trying to commute with the help of the airways. In the earlier course of action, what we are witnessing is that our baggage and our bags, they were being searched, they were being explored, and they were being investigated with the help of the manual mode. But nowadays, each and every sector, each and every industry, they are trying to get themselves updated in terms of the technological way. They are getting more techno-savvy. They are trying to deploy more advanced tools and the techniques to outperform themselves as compared to the competitors. They are trying to establish a more standardized procedural norms and the regulations that is being uniform enough as compared to the competitors. So, the deployment of the tools and the techniques and the machines, they are not only giving them a comfort zone to the customers, the prompt services to the customers, but in addition to it, the standardized approach can be seen. There can be chances in which the commitment of the blunders can be minimized to a greater extent. There can be a situation in which the mistakes can be minimized to a greater extent because of the adoption of the machines and the tools and the techniques. So, what the airline industries are doing, they are trying to replace out the manual mode of investigation and the exploration of the bags and the the package that you are trying to come, and they are trying to go along in the airline industry, you are trying to travel in the airline industry. They are trying to take care of the uses of the X-ray surveillance equipment that has replaced out the use of the manual mode of searching and investigating out your bags and all those belongings with which you are coming and you are visiting to a particular airline industry. Now, we have taken a third example. It says that the automatic car washers, they have replaced the manual washing, dyeing and waxing, ensuring consistent quality. In the same way, if you are visiting to a particular mechanic, if you are visiting to a particular kind of garage, you are visiting to a particular kind of repair center in which you are just trying to get your automobile washed. In our yesteryears, in our olden days, we were saying and we were witnessing that our automobiles, they were being washed with the help of the manual modes, but nowadays those manual deployment of the people to get your automobiles washed or the vehicles washed, it is not being replaced to a greater extent with the deployment of the automatic car washers, and here we are trying to replace out the manual washing method in order to have a more consistent approach to give them a greater satisfaction and delightment to the end users, to have an experience of the consistent quality of the services which the machines and the deployment of the tools and the machines are trying to give you out as compared to the services which the manual mode is trying to offer you out. Now, here the soft technologies. Now, this is also another alternative to going for the providing you a standardized approach to the services for dealing with the problem of the variability. Now, adoption of the soft technologies, it gives you the fact that here we are all being associated with giving you a standardized services by substituting the pre-planned systems, that is pre-packed vacation tools for individual services. For example, we have taken that many travel firms, they sell pre-packed vacation tools. This is standardized transportation, accommodation, food and sightseeing. For example, the Oberoi hotels and the resort, they have standardized out the service using soft technology. The same instance, like the soft technology, it means that here we are before offering you the services to the target audience, here the service firm and the marketer, they are trying to give them a review of their, they are giving them a kind of a sample testing of their offering to the target audience in a very in a very specified way. We have taken an example in that the deployment of the soft technology, it is one of the way to standardize of the services, and we are trying to substitute it out by giving the target audience a pre-planned system that is being designed in the form of the earlier course of action before offering out your core services to the end users on a full-fledged basis. We have taken one of the example, like in case of the travel and tourism industry, they are the selling out the pre-packaged vacation tools. That is, if you as a visitor, if you as you are a very frequent flyer, or you as a visitor, you are trying to move out to a new city, to a new area, to a new to a new state, then in most of the hotels and most of the travel firms, they are trying to give you a they are trying to come out with a proper solution of giving you a pre-packed videos and the tapes are being recorded of their hotels and the industry. They are giving you a view wherein how their premises are looking out, regarding what are the amenities that they are dealing with, regarding the lounge and the bars, regarding the cafeteria, regarding the area in which you can be, safely you can visit out within their own premises, regarding the swimming pool, regarding all the hygienes and the ambience. They will be giving out that particular idea in the abstractness by framing out and giving you a customized approach in the form of a pre-planned tour of their hotels or the premises, by recording their premises, by recording all their amenities of their premises in a certain specified time duration, and that time duration by recording out their video in a certain specified time duration, and giving and offering out to those customers who are willing enough to go in for the consumption of those services. So, by looking out with that pre-packaged tour of the videos, by having a look towards that pre-packaged recording videos which the hotels and the restaurants have did for the purpose of motivating and persuading enough to the target audience to move in for the consumption of their services, that will be acting as a strategy to deal and to come out within a soft approach. Here we are trying to give a easy commutation, we are trying to accommodate at a greater appeal, we are trying to accommodate within a good hygiene factor, we are trying to give you a very sumptuous meal, we are giving you a good sightseeing facility, we are giving you a good safe and hygiene, ambience is very diligent enough to talk of. We all are dealing with a good empathy and resilience. So, giving them a standardized approach, with the help of the soft technologies, and these soft technologies are in the form of, you may say that these adoption of the soft technologies are also one of the form of the strategy that is being used by the service provider or the service organization in order to bend out the purchase and the consumption behavior of the customers, in order to just influence out the purchase and the consumption behavior of the consumers to go in for the adoption of their own core services, and that too not in a way wherein we are adopting out hardcore machines and the tools and techniques, but rather here we are going for the adoption of the soft technologies, which is very much being conducive enough, not only in terms of meeting out the expectations of the customers and the consumers, but that too is also feasible from the customers, from the marketer's point of view. Now, this is also yet another way out on being seen on the part of the service organization to give a uniform and a consistent appeal to the target audience, and here we are coming out with a solution in which the hybrid technology is being talked of. The hybrid technology, it is a technology which is all being associated with industrializing out the services, combining out both the factor of hard and the soft technologies, and we have taken an example of computerized truck routing, or we have taken an example wherein the specialized low price repair services are being offered to the target audience. Now, this is an approach that is the hybrid technology. Here we are seeing that it is having a mixed blending of both the other features that we have talked, that is the strategy of the using and adoption of the machines in the form of the hard technologies, going for the process and the approach of the soft technologies. The hybrid technology is having a mixed blending of both the features, that is the hard and the soft, and we have taken an example wherein the computerized truck routing is being done. If we are being engaged in certain kind of, we are being engaged in certain kind of arena in which the commutation process is being done, we can go in for investigating, we can go in for tracking out our peripherals, our machines and our vehicles with the help of the adoption of the soft technologies, that is trying to investigate out the pathway of our vehicles and our automobiles by the deployment of the tracking routes. Similarly, moving on, this is yet another strategy that earlier also we have defined, that is the establishment of the set rules and the procedures routine And here it says that the use of the pre-planned systems with a specific set of rules and the routines can be used to manage human performance effectively in service delivery. Through perfect standardization is not possible, but reliability to a reasonable extent is achieved. Definitely earlier in the previous discussion we have said the same fact that the establishment of the set procedural plans, the rules and the norms and the regulations at the very first initial juncture before the commencement of your business or your organization, all these set established thought process should be chalked out. That will be acting in a very predefined way, acting in a certain procedural plans that is predefined, that will provide a conducive atmosphere to the people who are being deployed in your organization, because they will be knowing about the fact that they what are being expected from them, how they have to perform, towards whom they are being accountable with, their performance and their measurement, their actual performance is being measured, the deviations are also being chalked off, and definitely the remedial actions will be taken for the purpose of removing those particular lacunas being seen in terms of the procedural plans and the actions. We have said that the perfect standardization is not possible, but definitely in case of the services, to a certain degree of the personalization and the customization is being done, and the standardization, the perfect standardization is not possible, but here with the establishment of set procedural plans and the rules and the regulations, we as a service provider, we can come out within a solution in which the certain degree of the accuracy, certain degree of uniformity and the consistent quality of the deliverance of the services can be achieved if we are trying to craft and come out with the establishment of the set procedural plans and the rules and regulations in a very predefined way. We have taken out an example, like suppose the limited menu restaurant like Pizza Hut and TGI Friday ensure high consistent form from one visit to the next, because they have standardized out the preparation procedures. Now, we have taken one of the example from the hospitality sector, and we have taken that if the hotels, if the preparation of the dishes and the menus, preparation of the meals being offered by the hotels and the restaurants, if that meals are being prepared with a certain standardized ingredients, with a certain specified ingredients for a specified course of for a specified course of menu, so definitely there will be a consistent approach that can be witnessed by the consumption of those physical meals, because even if the preparation is being done in the same way, even if the people who are being deployed, they may have a different set of mind, their behavioral pattern may be different, but if you are coming out with the proper combination and the ingredients to be defined as a uniform, so more or less you may come out within a certain kind of approach that is more being prominent enough in terms of the consistent and uniform quality of the offerings that you are trying to deliver upon. So, I hope that these are the strategies that are very much being beneficial enough and that are being used by the service organization to deal out with the problem of the variability that is being seen on the services arena, and the strategy being crafted in terms of the deployment of the hard technologies or the soft technologies, or having a mixed blend of both the ones, or either coming out with an option of the standardized tools and the techniques, and coming out with a standardized and predefined rules and the procedural norms. We as a service provider, we can be able enough to deal out with this particular challenge being faced on their part of meeting out with the feature of the variability to a greater extent. So, till then I hope that you have understood that that is how to deal out with this particular factor, and in a next session we will be dealing with another characteristic, the strategies being deployed by the service marketer, and the characteristic being associated in the services arena, how to deal with this particular characteristic, what are the important implications that can be seen in the next discussion. So, till then stay safe and stay blessed. Thank you all for joining with me. Thank you.